Hey guys, the Bot Builder's back and welcome to another episode of Robot Wars Omega Series 2. And this is Heat E. Yes, we are already halfway through the heats, and we already have our first four semi-finalists. Those machines are Foxic, Roadkill, Firestorm, and from last heat, Danton Kia, who pulled off a stunner, taking out the reigning champions Rapid in the heat finals after flipping them down the pit. Although we already do have some great machines in the 10 Robot Rumbles as well, such as the aforementioned Rapid, as well as Carnivore, joining the lineups of Death Roll, Cyber Spinner, Bronco in the first 10 Robot Rumble, and Diamond Storm, Spectre, and Gravity in the second. But now we're on Heat E, and this is a very interesting heat, as it's very spinner heavy. So let's just jump right into this heat, which is bound to be full of destruction. Seeded number 9. Cobalt. Cobalt, the number 9 seeds, returning from the last series when they entered with Carbide, although this is a completely brand new machine. But it's already made a statement here, being the War of the Weapons champion. A very destructive vertical spinner, one of the best around, although it cannot self-ride. And the pilot champion with Carbide all those time ago, back in 2019. So yeah. Endgame. Here is Endgame, another vicious vertical spin, and this robot is completely brand new to this series. This is their first Robot Wars Omega series, but they're already a fan favourite, being a semi-finalist of the World Championships. An incredibly destructive vertical spinner with an incredibly low to the ground but very durable front wedge, and it can self-right as well. Honestly, I think this machine could be a dark horse this heat. Chaos 2. And we have probably one of the most experienced robots in Robot Wars Omega history. Chaos 2 is the only robot to have competed in every single series, competing in pre-series 1, and they've never missed a series ever since. They have an incredibly powerful front flipper, although they do have a high ground clearance, their back is vulnerable, and perhaps they're getting a bit outdated, although this machine is a legend. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZs, we have Matilda with her flipping head and that rear deadly disc. And Virus, he also has a deadly combination of a grabbing head, lifting spikes, and being drunk. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate. So here we go, should be a great battle this is going to be, and already look at Cobalt, already chewing up Chaos 2. The number 9 seeds are already off to an explosive start here. And look at this, the vertical spinners are going after the battle-hardened veteran Chaos 2. Now, Chaos 2, if you remember in Robomania this year, they fought a new machine known as Acidic, and that didn't end well, and I think they're going to be absolutely mullered here again. They're being absolutely mangled here by the two destructive spinners, and look at this, they're taking turns. They're taking turns on Chaos 2 here. Chaos 2 have been absolutely destroyed. And now it's down to both Endgame and Cobalt to see which one of these two will come out on top better. Oh, and it's Endgame! Endgame comes out the better of the two. And Cobalt have been knocked up and over. And Endgame, well, maybe that's because they probably have the more effective spinner who just knocked Cobalt up and over. And Cobalt being flipped up and over. They're upended. They can't self-right from there. And Endgame already is off to an impressive start, knocking Cobalt into the arena wall. Cobalt also came second place in the Mayhem. Chaos 2 on the drop zone, and oh god, I am dreading this is what is going to drop. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a frog! It's a frog! My god, is this a cameo of Ribbot, I wonder? Oh, and Endgame comes with another big hit right down onto Chaos 2. Matilda, meanwhile, I think they're going to try and deal with Cobalt. Cobalt still licking its wounds from the October Mayhem. And now they're on the floor flipper. 1, 2, 3! Cobalt gets sent flying across the arena. And Endgame, this has been a great debut by them here. Absolutely destructive and dominant. They could be the first spinner to win the heat, this series. And they push Chaos 2 down the pit. Well, on to Endgame. Cease. Well, Endgame most definitely game-ended both of its competitors quite convincingly, destroyed Chaos 2 and knocked Cobalt onto its head. They go through to the Heat semi-finals in absolutely brutal fashion, although the 9th seeds and former pilot episode champions are looking a bit nervous here. Seeded number 15, PP3D. PP3D are a very deadly horizontal spinner, a very powerful undercutter. They are the number 15 seeds as they made it all the way through to the Heat Finals before being beaten by Apollo. They are the lowest seeded Heat Finalists this series, as they didn't last too long in the 10-robot rumble. They were a very deadly machine though, one of the few Scottish robots in Robot Wars Omega. Crikey. Here's Crikey, runners-up of the account Mayhem, and you can see why. They are an incredibly powerful front-hinge flipper. They represented World of Woodrow in the account Mayhem, and they are a fan favourite. They most famous for self-writing themselves out the arena in the first account Mayhem, but they came back and redeemed themselves. They had on those wedgets, those anti-guru side plates, and they're one of the most powerful front-hinge flippers around. Watch out for this one. I can see this robot go far. The Big Cheese. And here we have the Edit Wars champion, the Big Cheese, armed with a very powerful flipper and vicious rear-spinning flywheel. They represent robot combat models in the in Edit Wars, and they're hoping to do well here. The spinner is powerful, the flipper is one of the biggest, however, it does have problems self-righting. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZ, we have Growler, who is hoping to ram and slam, much like this robot, Rhino. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So, PP3D, Big Cheese, the two Scotsmen going after each other already. Well, Big Cheese wasn't originally from Scotland, but they were bought by Robot Combat Models. Of course, they're not being driven by Robot Combat Models in this. He's already entered with EC3. It's being driven by Glenn McIntosh. So yeah, there we go. And Crikey already flipping with Big Cheese up and over, and Crikey trying to come for a great flip right here. In onto Big Cheese. Big Cheese nearly getting flipped out of the arena. And, well, really Big Cheese, I did mention this, they do have issues self-righting. In comes Rhino, coming with a great slam right there, though. In onto the Big Cheese, PP3D, trying to cause some damage in onto Crikey. Crikey got in underneath PP3D, and they're trying to flip them up and out the arena. They're trying to flip them up and over. They did get many good, strong Utas. Big Cheese eventually do self-right, but look at this, I think Crikey are perhaps a bit too low for them here. Now, Big Cheese, they are favourites to win this series. Well, some people reckon they could do it. Although Crikey are also quite highly fancied as well. The Big Cheese look to be struggling here, and Crikey trying to get them out of the arena. They flip themselves up and over. I think that's the first time Front Flipper's done that in my series, actually. Crikey trying to flip over and out the Big Cheese. PP3D trying to rev up that deadly spinner, but Crikey trying to come with a great flip right there. Those anti-guru side plates makes it very low to get in underneath Crikey right here. It really could have won the account Mayhem. They just couldn't quite beat Scrapper though. At the very end, the Big Cheese eventually does self-right though, and now they're going to try and come with their vertical spinner though. And they're trying to cause some damage. PP3D hasn't really been causing the damage we expect them to see them there though, but now they do come with a big hit right there. Although I think they're having issues with their spinner, which is a bit disappointing to see. Crikey eventually do self-right. Big Cheese look to be in trouble. Crikey trying to flip them up and over. Crikey now trying to get in underneath the Big Cheese and trying to flip them up and out of the arena. PP3D, what on earth is going on with their spinner here? It's not spinning as quickly as it normally does. Are they having troubles here? Crikey trying to flip PP3D up and out of the arena though. They very nearly did, but in comes Big Cheese! Big Cheese! Big Cheese! Crikey! Very nearly went in the pit then. That was very close right there, but they're out of the arena! And the robot who was winning that fight, I would say, gone! So who would win on the judge's decision now? Well, PP3D are certainly taking advantage of Big Cheese's struggling to self-right. That was very lucky, that was. Rhino comes with a great slam. Growler trying to come with another good slam right there and onto Big Cheese, and look at that, they're suffering a bit of damage, aren't they? PP3D spinner is struggling, but they are doing pretty well here at the minute. They're doing quite well. Big Cheese eventually does self-right, and they're trying to flip up and over PP3D. Although I think this fight, may go to the judge's decision. Any moment now. Cease. And this is going to be very tough for them to decide who will go through here. Big Cheese ends up like that right at the end, but this is going to be a tough one for them to call. Honestly, I wouldn't want to call it, but let's just see what the judges say. So the judges have made their decision, and we can guarantee you it is going to be a controversial decision, but the judges still stand by it. And you know the criteria they're looking for: damage, control, and aggression. But the robot they believe to go through to the next round Winning out on damage and aggression is PP3D! Yes, well done to them. The judges felt PP3D were the more aggressive and the more damaging. They felt the Big Cheese were more controlled to eliminate Crikey, but PP3D, the number 15th seed, so they go through to the Heat semi-finals by the skin of their teeth. Although the judges said if Crikey didn't get eliminated, they would have won that fight easily. But now we are here at the redemption rounds, and this is our first one, and this is going to be a really good fight, I reckon. As we have the account Mayhem runners-up Crikey taking on the scary, the 9th seed's Cobalt. No matter what happens here, we're going to see a great machine drop out really early on. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZs, well, Virus is here once again, and do you want to hear another Rhino fact? I think you do. Did you know that white rhinos, the largest type of rhino, can weigh up to over 3.5 thousand kilograms? Yeah, just let that sink in. 3,500 kilos. Of course, Rhino isn't that big, but he's still the biggest of our house robots. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So, Cobalt, the number 9 seeds, and Crikey. Although Cobalt, I do think they're still licking their wounds from that October Mayhem. I'm actually recording this slightly after doing that, so yeah. Probably not the best idea, but they still knocked Crikey out! Well, that was over quickly, wasn't it? That was great stuff right there from Cobalt. They just smacked Crikey out of the arena, and well, I don't think Crikey's going to be getting any food on his plate now. And Cobalt, they get the victory. They fool themselves up. They've fallen up and over. But it doesn't matter. Well done to Cobalt. That was over in a matter of seconds. Cease. Well, Crikey didn't last too long there, did they? They got smacked out the arena by Cobalt very quickly. And Cobalt, the 9th seed, they go through to the Heat semi-finals. Well, that might actually have to be the quickest fight of the series so far. Cobalt just smashed Crikey out of the arena, but now we're going to be going on to our next fight, which is going to be between Chaos 2 and the Big Cheese. A rematch from Series 3, although the Big Cheese have got a lot of upgrades. Chaos 2, not so much. Yeah, and of course the winner of this will go into the Heat semi-finals. The loser are out. And in the control zone for the CPZs, we have Virus and Rhino yet again. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So here we go, a grudge match of what is widely regarded as one of the greatest fights in Robot Wars, not Robot Wars Omega, Robot Wars history. And Kelsey comes with a great flip onto the Big Cheese. And look at this Big Cheese. They do struggle to self-right. Chaos 2 is currently returning back to its trip in Wisconsin with the cheese. And look at this, a big flip right there onto Weedy Big Cheese right there. Not Weedy Big Cheese, Big Cheese. Weedy Big Cheese are in a different heat. They're in Heat G. It's kind of funny how both Big Cheese and Weedy Big Cheese are in this series. Chaos 2 do get back up, and look at that big shot right there by Big Cheese in onto Chaos 2. Big Cheese now coming with another big hit right there onto Chaos 2, but Chaos 2 self-right. Chaos 2 tries to flip up Big Cheese. In comes Rhino, that comes with a great slam right there. Slamming Big Cheese into the arena sidewall. Chaos 2 though, look at Big Cheese here. Big Cheese in trouble. Can Chaos 2 take advantage? No, Chaos 2 couldn't quite take advantage of them there. Big Cheese. Big Cheese now. Big Cheese. I want a big flip for Chaos 2. Big flip right there. Very big flip. Big Cheese now in onto Chaos 2 again, trying to come for yet another good strong flip. And again, Chaos 2 they do get back up and over, and they flip Big Cheese up and over again. The thing is, that fidget spinner actually means they get flipped onto their backs really quickly after just getting flipped. Although that doesn't mean it gets to stay in the arena a lot more. Although it does also mean they struggle self-right. They do self-right though, as you can see there. And now they're going to come with another good strong flip onto Chaos 2. And again. Come on, are they going to try and get them out of the arena? No, they're going to go for the spinner. They're going to go for the spinner. Of course, Big Cheese improved, bought originally made by Roger Plant, bought by Robot Combat Models, given a big flipper and a big spinner. And now Robot Combat Models is letting his friend Glenn drive it. And to be honest, he's not doing a terrible job, actually. He's not doing a terrible job. Chaos 2, though, trying to flip Big Cheese up and over. Chaos 2 flips onto their backs. Chaos 2, though, on Rhino's ramming spike right there. Chaos 2 didn't get away. Virus hasn't done anything this battle yet. This is an excellent fight here. This is a very good battle here. Although Chaos 2, can they get him out of the arena? No. They couldn't quite get him out of the arena here. This is very back and forth between two Robot Wars greats, and it's such a great, and it's great to see a rematch of the Series 3 battle. right here, even if one of them has been edited. And now Big Cheese pushes Chaos 2 to the CPZ with Virus. And Virus now has a hold of Chaos 2. Chaos 2 self-right. Chaos 2 now on the big flipper of Big Cheese again. And Big Cheese flips Chaos 2 up and over. Although Chaos 2 trying to get in at the side of Willy Big Cheese, and they flip them up and over again. And can they get him out of the arena? No, they couldn't, but look at Big Cheese. Look at Big Cheese's flipper. Big Cheese, I think there's been something gone wrong with their flipper. Hurry here. And Chaos 2 takes advantage. Flips them out of the arena. And, well, Big Cheese are out of the arena. Cease. Well, that was an incredibly good fight. Chaos 2 showed great driving skill there against the Big Cheese. And, well, I thought the Big Cheese were going to win that, but Chaos 2 caught them with the flipper. And they are out of Series 2. Shame to see Big Cheese go. They were a great design, but they really do need to improve their self-writing. And Chaos 2, well on to them. They go through to the Heat semi-finals. So we are now here at our first Heat semi-final. We have Chaos 2. Got through an incredibly good redemption round against the Big Cheese. And they're going to be taking on Endgame, the robot who trashed them in the first round. And overseeing this fight, a robot who's known for trashing many machines with a vertical spinner, it's Matilda. And we have Growler, the only robot in the history of anything to have an arse flamethrower. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Yeah, Astro Boy, you might be flexing those machine guns in your butt, but Growler has a flamethrower in his bum, so there we go. Chaos 2 already comes in a great flip onto Endgame, though. Now, Endgame, they were beaten by Gravity in the World Championship, so they have lost to a deadly flipper before. Will they lose to Chaos 2 here in the Heat semi-finals? They had such a great performance in their first round, but look at this. Look at this by Endgame. They really are being a dark horse this Heat, but they have been so impressive. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they win this Heat. Like, I mean, of course, the winner will take on the winner between PP3D and Endgame. I reckon Endgame can take both of them, honestly. They are such a powerful spinner. And look at this, they are trouncing Chaos 2 right now. Poor Chaos 2, they've been competing since pre-Series 1. They've never missed a series ever since, but Endgame are going to try and make sure they miss pre-series. They're going to miss Series 3 at this rate by trying to eliminate them from existence. And oh, another massive hit right there. This is brutal, and I think Chaos 2 has met its Endgame, and they've met their match at the Triple H of Robot Wars Omega, the game, Endgame. I wanted to make that joke. They're not like Triple H at all, to be honest. And Chaos 2, they are on the floor flipper, and what's going to happen here? 3, 2, 1. Oh, chucked across the arena floor. And honestly, I think this is it for Chaos 2 and Endgame. I think they're going to give them the coup de grace. I think they're going to dump them down the pits. Cease. Well done to Endgame. That was completely brutal. Chaos 2 didn't stand a chance, and Endgame brutalized them, trashed them, smashed them, and eventually pitted them. They go through to the Heat final. But who will they meet in that Heat final? Will it be the destructive undercutter PP3D, the number 15 seeds? Or will it be the 9th seeds, Cobalt? Yeah, we have another seed clash right here. And overseeing this, we have two robots who've never really clashed. In fact, they're quite good friends. It's Growler and Matilda. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So we're guaranteed to at least have a seed in the Heat final, which is always good because we love the seeds in here, but we've really seen the rise of the new boys here, but we've also seen the seeds fight back here, and already both machines are trying to roll their spinners, but look at this. Both machines are having issues with their spinner right here. They've both been competing for a while, and unlike Endgame, who's a new breed of spinner, debuted very recently in the live streams, and they've been dominant ever since. These machines are old. They're old already. They've been competing for like over a year now, and they're already struggling here. And this is interesting. This is interesting. Look at this. Both machines can't really get their spinner working, including PP3D. And I have no idea what's going on here with PP3D's spinner. And to be honest, Cobalt, I think they might need a new spinner as well. And both machines are struggling here. There's no way to say it. They're struggling. They really are struggling here. PP3D gets flipped up and over by Matilda, although maybe that might spice this fight up a bit, but I think we're going to be in for a sleeper match here between the two C's, the two destructive spinners, well, the two battered C's at this point. They've been battered, let's be honest. Cobalt can't really get that spinner up to speed. PP3D, their spinner is having issues. Cobalt's spinner has also been having issues. They've been having issues ever since they got smacked. Their spinner got ripped out by Cyber Spinner. PP3D, I have no clue what's happened to their spinner, if I'm honest. I didn't even know their spinner was having issues, but it's too late now. And well, as a result, we're in for a sleeper match. And this fight is admittedly apologies for this, but this fight is kind of shit, isn't it? This fight is a bit shit. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe one of these machines could pull off a good heat final victory, but I'm not too sure. PP3D though, trying to dig in and then trying to push Cobalt into the pit. Cobalt's spinner is still spinning, but it's not giving the same impact it normally does. Maybe that hit they had on Crikey was sort of their last spark, perhaps. I mean, the team say they are going to give Cobalt a new spinner for the next series, for Series 3. PP3D though, one wheel on the edge of the pit, and PP3D, I think they might need a new spinner as well, but they're on the edge of the pit, and Cobalt, PP3D, one of their wheels is struggling. One of the wheels is on the edge of the pit, and honestly, I think this dull fight is about to come to an end here. Just Cobalt needs to try and push them in. Are they going to do it? Yes, they do, and thank God for that, because we never have to look at that fight ever again. Cease. Oh, that was painful. That might be the contender for worst fight ever in Road Wars Omega history. That was pitiful. But that kind of just shows the wear and tear of these machines. Gary Kearns, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He said he's going to give PP3D a new spinner for Series 3. Dave Moulds said they're going to try and give Cobalt a new spinner as well, because let's be real here, both of those spinners have been battered. They fought through the wars, they've been worn down, and they're not as effective as they once were. But either way, both machines still tried to put on a show, but they're not really pushers, they're spinners, and without their main attraction, they couldn't really put on a show. But Cobalt was still able to beat PP3D, and they go through to the Heat Finals. But before we go into the Heat Finals, we have our third place playoff. So who will go into the 10 Robot Rumble and who will go out? Will it be the Battle Harlem veteran Chaos 2, legendary competitors? As I said, they've been competing all the way back since 2015 and they've never stopped since. And they seem to be getting their spark back after that impressive victory against the Big Cheese, although they did get trashed by Endgame. Let's see if they fix themselves here. And PP3D, the 15th seeds, but I don't think they're going to win this one. Who knows? Maybe they might have fixed a spinner, but we'll have to wait and see. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZ, we have Growler and Virus yet again. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. Activate. So here we go. PP3D spinner, although they are still going to try and give it a good go. And look at this, their spinner seems to be working now. Well, okay. Although Chaos 2 do come with a good flip right now to PP3D, and PP3D been flipped up and over. Chaos 2 trying to flip PP3D out of the arena here in a minute. Although PP3D, their spinner has really been giving them troubles this series, hasn't it? Chaos 2 comes with another great flip. Honestly, give credit to PP3D for getting this far. But now their spinner seems to be working back to top form. No, not quite. But it seems to be working better than it did in the last fight. But they aren't really causing the big hits. Chaos 2 comes with a big flip though, in onto the PP3D. The seeded robot, seeded 15, and Growler comes with a great slam, and if the spinner already had issues, they're just going to get more issues to spinner right there. Chaos 2 trying to flip PP3D out of the arena, and they do so. Just like that, Chaos 2, they flip themselves up and over, but Chaos 2, they go through to the 10 Robot Rumble. Cease. And I think they go through to the 10 Robot Rumble in semi-final A, I think. Fairly certain. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, should be interesting to see how Chaos 2 does in that. Rapid are also in that one, so maybe a bit of revenge on the card. But Chaos 2, they get third place, although I do feel bad for PP3D. Just real shame about their spinner this series. I was hoping to see that in action, but they've been having troubles, and I think it's time for a new spinner. But Chaos 2, they go through to the 10 Robot Rumble. But who will join Chaos 2 in the 10 Robot Rumble area, or who will go into the Heat semi-finals? Well, honestly, I have a feeling Endgame has got this in the bag. They're a much better spinner, and despite Cobalt being the 9th seeds, I would not call them the favourites. Of course, Endgame beat them in the first round. Cobalt's been struggling with their spinner this entire heat. I think Cobalt, we could be seeing the end of them here, and as I said, they're also going to try and get a new spinner for next series. But overseeing in the CPZs, we have Matilda and Virus. I mean, Virus didn't really do anything. Maybe Matilda will do something as well. Although, honestly, it's going to come down to the big spinner collision, I reckon. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So a rematch from the first round Melee and a rematch from BattleBots. And both times Endgame came out on top. And honestly, considering Cobalt, the issues they've been having with their spinner this entire heat, I think it's going to stay this way. I think Endgame are going to beat them yet again. Endgame, a much more better design. They have a Shremek. Their spinner seems to be a lot more durable. Although, Cobalt stays on their feet. The 9th seeds, competing with Carbide in the last series. The high seeds for this series. The high seeds for this heat. Winners of all the weapons, although I don't think they're going to be beating Endgame here. And Endgame just smacks Cobalt right there. And Cobalt would be knocked away. And Endgame have smashed Cobalt right there. And I think that is it for Cobalt. Although, what is this by Endgame? I think Endgame are going to try and knock them back onto their wheels. Although, their spinner seems to have had a bit of issues right here. The spinners came off. They smashed the spinner out. And Cobalt, that is it for them, I think. And I think that's it for the spinner. And they're out the arena. And that was an incredibly brutal heat final. Endgame got the hit that they needed and just showed off, knocked the spear out and then knocked them out. And Endgame, they go through to the series semi-finals. As I said, I thought they'd be a dark horse for the heat. That just proved me right, and what an impressive performance that is. But that was a sad, sad story for Cobalt. Hopefully they can get their spinner fixed in time. But Endgame, they go through to the series semi-finals. Seats. A bit of a one-sided heat, let's say. Not really the best heat. But Endgame still were able to beat Cobalt and smash them out of the arena just like that. Sorry if this heat felt a bit lackluster. I would say this is the weakest heat so far. But I just had no clue what was going on with PP3D and Cobalt. They were having troubles with their spinner throughout this entire episode. And in the end, that really did cost them. But Endgame still won the heat. They still beat what was in front of them. And they go through to the semi-finals. Cobalt, of course, they will go into the 10 Robot Rumble. But yeah, anyway, that kind of does it for this heat. We'll see you again next time for Heat F. Hopefully that heat will be a little bit better than this one, because I felt this heat was a bit lackluster. We will be seeing the return of the 10th seeds Aftershock, the Robot Rumble winner, as well as as well as the 12th seeds Lucky, as well as some many other great machines. So we'll see you then for that. But until then, the Bot Builder out.